I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking through.
Hello, welcome to another episode of the Business Renovator. Today, we're going to talk about this. I quit my job to pursue my true passion. That sounds like my story, but we're going to actually hear somebody else's story, an amazing young lady who's going to come and share some wisdom with us. But before we do that, as I always do, shameless plug for my organization, Focal Point. And if you ever have a question for a business coach, well, watch this video. Yeah, so if you ever have a question in and around business, maybe it's one of the four pillars: time, team, money, or exit strategy, or maybe sales, relations, that kind of thing, personal development, reach out to me. coachphil.ca is where you Phil at coachphil.ca is where you'll be able to get a hold of me. And if I don't have the answer to your question, I'm part of a larger group around the globe, and certainly happy to make an introduction to somebody who could answer the question you may have. So let's get on with the show, because that's the most important part of today. So I have a wonderful young woman that's going to be on the show, and we're having a conversation in and around how she quit her job to pursue her true passion. She's an award-winning, international best-selling author for multiple books, and she's also CEO and founder of Seed to Sequoia. After 20 years and a successful career in the banking and finance world, she generated over $200 million in revenue. She quit corporate to pursue her true passion as a certified life and business coach. She utilizes her MBA plus her background in high-level sales, leadership, and management. She has now worked with over 500 entrepreneurs and teaches them how to earn easily and attract their dream clients and create a life by design. Her mission is to help business leaders tap into their soul's calling and scale their business and feel good strategies and intuitive guidance. And maybe you'll hear something that'll get you to quit your job and follow your passion. Let me bring her up. Jocelyn, Chong, come and join me.
Thank you so much for that wonderful warm welcome.
I
would love to have you as my PR media person. You did such a fantastic job.
Well, I appreciate that. And I know that where you're at is you could tell me the futures, but you're sworn to secrecy not to give me the winning lottery ticket numbers, because that's against the law. So you're very lawful, and integrity is one of your core values. So I won't even ask you what I should pick for numbers, because we're in two different parts of the world. I'm in the northern hemisphere, you're in the southern hemisphere. I'm up there. We don't call it that though. And you're down there, which is often what it's referred to, right? That's not fair.
That's
we need
true.
you up there. Don't you guys say, oh, you guys are up there? You don't.
We call ourselves down under. So yeah. I am living in the southern part of 9% of the world's land population called Australia. And I am down right under Victoria. And then I'm living by the beach. So all the more facing down to Antarctica. That is where I am.
Living by the beach, you would have to bring it up, right? I'm living by the mountains.
Equally as good.
Yeah, they are actually. They're actually beautiful. I can see them from my residence. It's terrific. So we got connected and had a conversation and decided that we should get up here and share some insights about stuff, about life and about finances and about quitting your job and pursuing your passion or perhaps a dream, whatever you might want to call that. Tell us about how that all got started. There's a little bit of it in the intro, but that's a little bit.
My story. So I started growing up in an entrepreneurial background, both my grandparents have got their own business, but I actually spent most of my childhood in a family business. And my
Okay.
grandfather was entrepreneurial. My grandmother was really working alongside with my grandfather until he passed away of a heart attack, which I witnessed. And he taught me so much around business because you're in that energy, you're in that aura. And he also had a very strong passion in life that he wants all his kids to be educated, really have their own jobs. Interestingly, they don't all, you know, work in a family business. 4 of them actually work for organizations around the world that are really well known, like Colgate-Palmolive, the Timber Association of Malaysia, and also running their own engineering business and working for Arthur Andersen before it was taken over by Ernst & Young. So many of you who are in the consulting world might know that, the last 20 plus years. And so I was always been in that energy. But at the same time, my grandmother prayed for 11 of her grandchildren to pursue education, go to uni, have a secure and stable job. And so all of us did. Her dream came true. I had a very different spark in my life. I've worked for 20 years in the banking and finance world to tick the box one area, to also give my parents the comfort that they have saved up so much for my education that I fulfilled their dream by earning a stable income, so-called.
Mhm.
Over the years, I knew deep down in my heart that really inner voice that is really strong to really invite me into my own world and path of entrepreneurship. 2015, I decided to do my master's, and my master's was specializing in entrepreneurial management. So in the banking sector, there was 2 different divisions. One area that you can license financial advisors to lead their business. I was building out my career to that level whereby I was helping private banking clients make money, protect their income, create financial wealth. And then after I completed my master's specializing in entrepreneurial management, I decided to embark on a different path where I actually license financial advisors and coach them to build their own financial planning business. So I did that. And I love that. I love how they run their teams, build their teams, manage their whole financial planning business in a way that really just bring out the best in who they are. And then it came to a point in my own life where in Australia, there was a lot of restructuring happening in the banking sector, and the world of financial planning changed so much in our regulatory requirements, our compliance, and our law. And over a period of time, we had a Royal Commission in 2019, and all the banks decided to sell off and shut down their wealth management division. I was impacted by that. I was working for the top 3 leading banks in Australia at that point in time, and they decided to sell their business. And so the whole division was made redundant, and I was part of that redundancy. So as much as I was making 17 of my staff redundant, my manager was making us redundant. It was like a flow-on effect. That small, still voice that was in my heart, in my soul, in my spirit, was calling me to register my own business in Australia. So I answered to that call. I thought to myself, if I had already had so much entrepreneurial background from my grandparents and then leading others, working and seeing so many small business owners being successful under my guidance, what I taught them, what I showed them, I'm pretty sure I can do that for myself. And so I embarked on my own entrepreneurial journey in 2019. And then I was looking into buying other business in financial planning to set up my own practice as well. Along the way, I just didn't felt that that was in alignment with my soul. So I just continued consulting and coaching. And so that is my passion work. And I love seeing all my clients spark with joy, lit up every time when I coach them. You know, when someone share their facial expression with you, that they have an aha moment that, wow, it changes their lives, it transforms their lives, that you can't buy. It's priceless.
Yeah, it's
And
like
so I do that work all the time to see that facial expression that is totally priceless.
right. I was thinking about something that when we first talked, you're a woman. Yesterday in this, I don't know if it's down under, but here was National Women's Day. And what went through my head was in that conversation was you're female, you're Asian, and there's restrictions, not by law, but by cultural restrictions, by paradigms of your elders, thinking that and also opportunity for Asian females is not the same for Asian males, is what I understood. And there's only like doctor, lawyers, and one other choice. So that's how you got into finance, wasn't it?
Yes.
Kind of. Wasn't that your path?
Yeah.
And then what you've just taken us, you went down that path. You honored your grandma, and that's fabulous. And then you got to the point where you recognized where you were disjointed in terms of your core value, and you say it's your soul. And then you got into working as a business coach and financial wizard to help other people get to that place in their own life where they have the aha moment, and they're helping other people have their clients have an aha moment. Is that what you're doing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Spot on.
Yeah. And I think what you talk about, those aha moments, using the credit card world, it's like a MasterCard moment. They are priceless. You can't pay for them. And they're unexpected.
That's right.
And often I find surprising. Out of the blue, like the color of my background. Yeah, it's amazing. So, how many books have you written?
2.
Wow. How long did it take you to write 2 books?
So both are 2 book projects that I actually work with publishers in the US. One of them lives in Arizona and the other one in New York City, and I'm doing the third one. We bring together founders and entrepreneurs who come together and contribute a chapter.
Okay.
And what we want to do is bringing our stories, bringing our journey, and then with the book, all the proceeds of the book goes into a charity organization to help others do the same.
Cool.
So there is that passing on our experience, our knowledge, our earnings, so that there is that flow on circulation to the world. So that are the projects that I love participating in, because I get to know and connect with so many women around the world to just experience that breakthrough. Writing is a very healing journey, and I didn't know about that until I started writing my own chapter. That every time when I wrote my chapter, I go back into my story, into my past, into what helped me overcome all my challenges in life, whether they are my fears or limiting beliefs, things that I have to let go, or my shadow work, or inner child issues that I wasn't aware. But through the writing journey, I had so many healing areas in my life that helped me peel off and be my authentic self. So it has been just so amazing. And that started last year.
Mm.
One fine day when someone left a link and an invitation in my Voxer and said, hey, why not consider participating in this project? That day, I thought to myself, there's always a time in my vision board that I wanted to be an author. And I decided today is going to be the day. And I'm going to start somewhere. So doing this helped me to learn the journey. And it has been one of the most rewarding journey in my life. So first one was launched in September the 3rd. The second one was in December. The next one, 15th of April this year. So that has been very fun. Very
Cool.
fun.
Are you familiar with Sarah Blakely?
Yes.
I'm just thinking, if
Yep.
you're writing chapters like that, would it be crazy of me to suggest that maybe that's somebody that you might want to align with as a woman? Because she's all about helping women in business.
Yeah.
Might be a huge connection. I don't know her. I can't make an introduction, but maybe somebody who's watching this show today, tomorrow, or some other time might have an into somebody like her, because she's an interesting woman. I've studied her masterclass, and she just blows me away. Went from a fax machine seller, to a multi-billion dollar, well, not multi-billion, but multi-million, well over $1 billion business out of her apartment, and $5,000 invested. And now she's sold it. She's still involved with it, as I understand, but still, I think from what I know of her, she's still passionate about leveling up women. So just a thought that was going through my head when you were talking about how you're doing a chapter per book kind of approach. So that's kind of cool.
Thank you.
So in like, I don't know, 60 seconds or less, what's your real passion? Like, just make sure that's crystal clear. Real passion. Like
My real passion is to really help others discover their own true unique gifts. So we are born with very unique gifts. Our thumbprint, our eye, nobody in this world will ever have the same. And so I have this real passion to really help someone unleash that, uncensor that, untame that, so that you can bring your truest, authentic self. So what I do is I create that container to guide you, to coach you, to allow you to share all your heart's desire. Because it is a container that is so safe. It is somewhere that I have never really experienced that myself. And that through coaching, I had that container that is judgment-free, to enable someone to just pull out what is that layer, because all our lives are piled up with extra layers of societal expectation, family expectation, religious expectation, politics expectation.
So
My
what
true
I'm
calling
hearing
is to help unlock that.
Yeah. So what I think I heard you say there, though, is it's outside influences that have an impact on the people in the container that you create. Is that what I think I heard? We could debate that, because I just was teaching something this week to my client, and my passion is to help people take on responsibility, and that they're in control of absolutely everything in their life because of how they show up and react and respond to it. And outside is just a reflection of what their insideness is. And once they get clear on the inside, what they're thinking on the inside changes what they see on the outside.
Correct.
Okay.
So everything within we already have everything within us. But because we live in a world that continue to tell us their perspective, their opinion, we don't get to really express who we are within us. And what are all the gifts? Nobody fan or cheer us on when we did something well, or at least for my own journey, I had so many desires, but nobody gave me the time, opportunity, or space, or hear my story. And so writing this story allows me to tell my story, because living in corporate, day in, day out, working 50 to 60 hours a week, it was glamorous because I was holding a very high position and I was liked in that sense. There was many recognition and awards and all that. But I, at the same time, was representing my company. So it wasn't my voice that I need to. I dress the part, I carry the company value, I speak the company language, I live everything the company desires me to do in exchange for money. But I lost who I am along the way.
Yeah, totally get that. And that's the space where I came out of it. And I've done self-reflection for like 3 decades. And I've helped people find their own inner guidance, their own inner guide, to be able to live that life that you're talking about, to live to their full potential, and to recognize that it's what you've just described from the way I perceive things is because I've worked in not that same field, but I've worked in corporate selling technology, and we are talking their lingo. We're talking their mission. It's not our mission. We have our sub mission and purpose, and it's generally good money, prestige, freedom, not really freedom, because what I've learned is in my journey is that when people lose their job, their identity, they take a because they've aligned just like you described. It wasn't you; it was who you thought you were at the time. What you've learned and what you're helping other people do is to get out of that and to find out who their true self is, their innerness, so that they can live their life in their terms and not have to be told what to do. They choose what to do, and they're okay with the consequences.
Yeah.
That's the space I like to hang out in and help people find their self in that, wherever that is for them.
Yeah. So earlier on, Phil, you mentioned, right, that I shared with you in prior conversation.
Mm-hmm.
In Asia, where I grew up in, there's 3 things you do in life. Very smart, you go to medicine. You're a guy, you do engineering. You're female, you do accounting. So I did that part because that was the set expectation for that generation. But at the same time, what if someone loves art? What if someone loves geography? What if someone loves something else that can contribute to the world and society and add value?
Yeah.
No, that is then either a more inferior class or it was not valued. It was just all this world's view about it. It's just opinion. And so everyone comes in with somewhat talent and gifts. And so just helping them understand that and helping them own that, helping them be 100% go, this is me. And being in our own skin and comfortable with that, because over time, I know that, I fell into the bucket of my career was my identity. Because the higher I climb, the more I am that person. I live and breathe and dress and, speak that. So we are so conditioned. But over time, I also know my soul was craving for something else.
Right.
And that's where I knew I need to listen to my own intuition. And once I knew that and I did the healing work, I can then help others, point them to their own path.
Yeah. So when you were talking about the career, we identify with that, the paycheck, the office, the expense account, that kind of stuff. Also, people would identify with them, the clothes they wore, the car they drove, the people they hung out with. And when you peel that all away, they've lost their identity. They don't know who they is. But by peeling that away, it exposes them, if they're open to this, to find out who they really are and what really is important to them. Maybe there is like you were just saying, you had great success in the financial world. You peeled it away, and if you wanted to be an artist in the traditional sense, you could have been that artist, right? So that when we get to the end of life, there's no regrets, if any, few maybe. I want to point to your website first. I've got to go here. There we go. And I'm going to go here. And just so people can, you have a slightly different hairstyle. It's a little shorter. Here you come.
Yes.
It's all good. I'm going to scroll that down. There you are. Whoops, I can't quite get you all in. Oh, well, there we go. So this is your website. You can grab a free copy of 3 Success Affirmations to Grow a Profitable Business here. And the website, so for people who've got bad eyes and can't read the small print on the screen, don't panic. We've got you covered. I just have to go find it and bring it up. It's right there. So that's the address for this website. And I like how you said, hi, I'm Jocelyn. I'm not, you are obviously. So happy to meet you. How welcome. That's pretty welcoming, I think. And they
Come
could
and say hello.
What's that?
Come and say hello.
Yes, cool. Yeah. So there. It's pretty simple. It's yourname.com.au for Down Under. Actually, it's for Australia, right?
Yes.
Because we were talking about that earlier. There is a Down Under, but not up here. It's crazy. It's not fair. We need something like that. Anyway, is there anything else you would like me to point to on the website here?
So there are a number of things that you can go towards too. There's a podcast that you can listen. There is resources that you can tap into. I have got trainings that you can actually get a taste of how it's like to work with me. You get to also listen to other people's success stories, those who have worked with me in the past, what they think about me. So you get to read that in the success stories page. What I offer too is speaking opportunities. I would love to share my stories, inspire others, and tell everyone about, how we can help more and more people in this world live their best life. We get to create that. And so those are the areas that I serve. And also I provide, container, like I mentioned earlier, one-on-one coaching program at the moment that's personalized to your needs. I integrate a lot because in financial planning, I get to sit with so many thousands of couples in the world to really review their financial position. But you know what? It's not just about financial position, right? It's more than that in life. So we talk about really deep stuff. I have clients talking about their estate planning, what they do with their funds after they move on. I've got, so many intimate stuff that clients trust me with. And so I had been very privileged to also come across those type of opportunities. And with my coaching background, I help you build up your business, right? In a way that you don't have to build up in the old-fashioned style, right? In a way that is truly in alignment with what you do, bringing your authentic self to life. So come and connect with me. And just connect, maybe just hanging out in my community and being, in my orbit and get to know each other better.
And if they want to find you, also another place I brought up is your LinkedIn page, and the LinkedIn address is right there. And if you forget that, just catch her name and search for her on LinkedIn that way. If there was one nugget that you would want to share with the people that are watching this now or on a replay, what would you want to tell them in like a 60-second spot on the radio?
I would love to invite you to really love yourself. To love the world, you really need to dig deep and love yourself. There's so many different areas. I'll tell you a quick 30 seconds. For many years, I had a lot of issues with body image because I was not fitting into the expectations of my family. And so body image was an area that really held me back from progressing forward fully as my authentic self. So doing that inner work and loving myself more and more helped me to love humanity more and more. So self-love. The more you love yourself unconditionally, the more you are able to give the world unconditionally love as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's what I've been talking to a client of mine, a group within a larger company. And it's a group of, there's about 75 of them. And I'm doing these programs. And I've been attempting to do what you're talking about, impress them to think about themselves, even if it's just a simple little thing like, I like myself. I like myself. I like myself. I love my job. It really is a game changer. And I really like your idea to support that. Looking after ourselves first is job one. Then we can be in a place where we can help other people. Like the flight attendants say, put your mask on first. Because if you don't have yours on, how can you help anybody else? And your message about loving yourself is just like that in terms of the face mask, right?
Yeah, spot on.
Time goes really fast. I don't know if you can see the clock, but we're already at 30 minutes.
No.
You have a ton of energy. I think that's fantastic. And if anybody wants to find you, they know where to get you because we've shared that information. And I want to thank you for taking time to fit us into your schedule to be on the Business Renovator to add some value to somebody's life we don't know yet. And I look forward to hearing some successes from somebody, even if it's just a little thing, that one idea they got from hearing you made an impact on them. It was like that aha moment that we're looking for. So thank you for being on the show. I much appreciate it.
Thank you, Phil. You're amazing. Thank you for doing this work, and you keep shining wherever you are.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Well, I can't believe how fast time goes. I guess when you're having fun, time doesn't stop. Well, the reality is time doesn't stop anyway. So I think take a bit of what she's talking about there. Show up and be your authentic self. Don't do the things for other people's reasons. Find out what makes you excited, what makes you happy, and go quit your job to pursue your passion. And the last thing I want to say on that is this. Hang in there. This is the thing I want to remind you all about, is to be wonderful. The you in wonderful is deliberately a you instead of a O, and it's larger because you are uniquely wonderful. So go act like it. Until we see you again, I'm Coach Phil on the Business Renovator.
I get shit done, I have fun. It's my time and I'm the one. I'm breaking